Hi friends, how are you? I'm so glad that the tides have changed a bit more so I can be more present with this work that I get to share with all of you. I have really enjoyed all of this ride with you all, even though it's been probably some of the most terrifying stuff we've had to go through in cosmic history. In terms of change and upheaval. So I would just like to pause for just one moment and appreciate all of you, all of us. We are this far removed, gone through the crucible of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, made it through those eclipses of last summer and this past winter. And now we are at the point where the sun being in Aries now, think of it like a crisis point for the year's solar cycle, because that solar cycle actually begins on the first day of winter. So we're going to have to dig deep, you guys. I know you can do it. I cannot sugarcoat this reading at all. There is some good I want to make sure I touch upon before I really jump in, because it is pretty profound, and I think this points to our heroes. Remember, we're going through a crisis. We're starting to see glimpses of who our new heroes are, who we're going to erect statues for probably in the future, that history will regard as our superheroes. Of course, all of our healthcare workers who are on the front lines, and then our leaders who are keeping us calm. I'm amazed with Governor Cuomo and what he's been doing. We still have more heroes to come, and I think they're going to start showing up in this next month. So I did that reading about things getting started on March 31st, and I had finished it saying I need to get to these dates. Remember, I was so happy I checked this one off. And then I said, I have to get to this date. This April 7th has my attention, and I go explicitly into detail in that March 31st video why. And so tonight I'm like, let's look at this. It's a flipping full moon, you guys. The only thing I could say is thank God it's not an eclipse, but it's activating eclipses all over the place. So, I'm grateful for quarantines and being at home, because I don't have to worry about bubble wrapping the people that I love, because we're all going to be at home together. I am going to put all sharp things away. I will take a look at my home to make sure that we're all safe, because this full moon, I don't have words to describe it, and I am already just so jittery inside looking at the chart. However, let's look at our hero. Because I think this is where the good is going to come. First of all, when we look at that date, April 7th, the sun at midnight is 17 degrees Aries. It stood out to me because not only was it related to the eclipses over the summer, but that Saturn-Pluto conjunction on January 12th, right after an eclipse, that its job was to transform world governments, and we're seeing that. I had no idea how that was going to happen, but here we are. Over Washington, D.C., the midheaven was 17 degrees Capricorn. So I'm like, oh my gosh, April 7th, the sun's going to be 17 degrees Aries. It's going to activate the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and more restructuring. And it's going to do it with a full moon, because the moon is going to be 17 degrees Libra here in the 11th house of hopes and wishes. the good that I want to talk about. Is this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. There's other astrologers who can talk about this in more detail. Because it's really a here we are in another once in a 13-year cycle of Jupiter conjunct Pluto, which will yields extraordinary riches, extraordinary power and wealth in Capricorn. It's like almost, it feels like a huge power move with the government. I'm told I need to read more in this because there's something bigger going on. I can't, I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out. But this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, the other thing that bodes very well with this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn is it bodes very well for science. It is great for science, and it's great for scientific discoveries. We're starting to see some of those things. The other thing, and I've been wanting to talk about the asteroid Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena, right now, she is, that asteroid is right in between Jupiter and Pluto. Smack dab in the middle. Pallas Athena, the mythology, I don't know it very well, but she's the daughter of Zeus. So Pallas Athena, we know her mythology more on the big screen in our movies as Wonder Woman, because she was one who would fight for justice. She was an incredible warrior. She could fight like nobody's business, always for a good cause. And right now, she's between Jupiter and Pluto. Extraordinary power, extraordinary wealth, riches, resources, down to earth. On top of it, when I was interested in looking at this 17-degree mark with Aries at 17, because the midheaven was at 17 degrees, the moon on that day was 17 degrees Leo. So at this full moon in Libra, an air sign, the sign of social justice, in the house of our hopes, wishes, dreams, science, humanity, our higher good, the divine feminine, is in direct and a beautiful, nice sextile, 60 degrees, to activate that moon. That moon is going to speak so powerfully to us. It's opposite the sun, which is in the 5th house of dear Photis. She's not in good angles. She's in square to Pluto, Jupiter. She's opposite the sun. There's a lot of incredible tension here. Her natural owner, the real estate she owns, is over here in partnership. There is going to be like a primal, almost reflexive, instinctive cry we, the people, are going to be having. We have Venus and Gemini here over on our side as well, screaming about our highest wishes, dreams, humanity, the love we have for one another and our friendships and our neighbors. Over here, the astrology card I drew was the solar eclipse revolution. There's many reasons we're going to be feeling revolutionary on this day. Heroes are going to rise up. The divine feminine, the female, the Pallas Athena, the warrior is ready to go. I feel like we hit a tipping point that day. And so that's the good. That's the good parts. We've got a hero, Pallas Athena. Oh, look at here. This this card I drew here for our highest wishes and dreams, that has to do with, it says Mercury retrograde, reinvention. Reinvention. Mercury is people, neighborhoods, reinvention, our dreams, revolution, solar eclipse. This was touching the July 2nd solar new moon eclipse. A new moon eclipse is a solar eclipse. I do not have that chart with me. Look at this. What's crowning Washington, D.C. at this full moon? The 8th house of endings and beginnings. We look to the 8th house over here. We have Neptune and sacrifice. People are pissed about this. So this is what's crowning Washington, D.C. Endings and beginnings, the 8th house. Everything bearing down on Washington, D.C. Look at this. Scorpio and transformation. So above and below Washington, D.C., we have transformation, beginnings and endings. We have the people ready to have a reinvention with a revolution. And Pallas Athena is activated. We have over here, in this house, this area of public servants, Uranus. This is the unexpected. This is the explosive. This is sudden things happening. When we're talking about our public servants, we're not talking about our nurses and people working in hospitals. No. In our schools. No. We are talking about people in Congress. Those ones. Saturn arrives with the truth. There are some people in Congress. We need to look closely at them. I am concerned. There's like 3 or 4 names that are screaming out to me that they are going to be touched. Where is it? Second. John Thune. Something's going to happen with him, John Thune. I also have Joni Ernst, Rand Paul, maybe Lindsay, Richard Shelby in the background. I feel like Patty Murray, who's a Democrat, is going to do some good. I had some other names, especially John Thune, though. He's getting walloped with this. Okay. So Saturn is going to dominate because that's what's on the ascendant. We look to Saturn. It's here. Oh God. Okay, now this is where I'm I'm getting nervous, you guys. Saturn is in Aquarius. It just moved to an air sign. It's opposite Mars and Mercury from that new moon eclipse, July 2nd. Mars is right next to it. God, Mars in Aquarius, my God, the air element of Aquarius just feeds Mars its fuel, its fire, what it wants to do, and be of a warrior. When Mars is in Aquarius, now it's no longer having to abide by the rules right now as it is in Capricorn, which is Saturn. It's been pretty harsh. It's had to take more of a Saturn quality, kind of an oppressive quality, especially with the Photus's behavior and how he lashes out and is so oppressive. Well, it's moving into Aquarius. It's going to be, I think, conjunct Saturn tomorrow. Oh boy. So Mars is going to behave according to Aquarius's rules. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, that planet of unexpected upheaval, tornadic winds. Uranus is conjunct Donald's sun. That's what gives him such that tornadic quality, the unpredictability, the chaos. So Mars has to abide by those rules. But Uranus is in Taurus at 5 degrees. Mars is 5 degrees Aquarius at this full moon. It's an exact square to Uranus. Think of explosiveness, like TNT, fireworks. At that new moon in Pisces, these two planets had a beautiful trine to one another. And after that new moon, I said this is going to be a tale of 2 Februaries. We had that second half of February happen. Things exploded that we couldn't see with money and with the virus just exploding everywhere globally. Well, now it's in square. And the planet Neptune, which kind of signifies this virus, it signifies Neptune has to do with healing and health. For me, Neptune is representing this hidden coronavirus. Well, it's at the midpoint of this Mars-Uranus explosiveness with this virus. Things are just going to explode. I don't know if this is when we hit our peak with the apex, with what we're expecting for our high numbers of deaths. It's going to be high. It is going to be bearing down in the area of DC on the East Coast. It's going to be bad. And that's what has me scared, because it's also Neptune is close to Mercury. Mercury's really active. Mercury has to do with neighborhoods and children, our friends and our siblings, our extended family. So this is how April 7th gets its start. Keep your eye on Speaker Pelosi. Well, now this is the one good piece, because her Jupiter, her good fortune, her good luck, that's at Aries 17. It will be conjunct the sun that day. It will also trine the moon from the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. 17 Aries is where? Over here. So she's going to be able to... Speaker Pelosi is going to be leveraging the power of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction to get done whatever she needs to get done. But massive changes happening in Washington, D.C. Endings and beginnings is crowning. Transformation is down below. The people are going to be pissed off and definitely triggered by the eclipse. Love for one another. They are going to be seeking for a reinvention, a revolution. I just can't believe this. I need to throw some cards. Okay. Whew.